Number 3, UConn. The Irish have won 45 straight at home, longest active streak in the nation. Charlie Weiss in attendance. The Huskies loving the 3 in the first half early on. Jerome Dyson from behind the arc. Wide open, why not? But if you live by the 3, you can die by the 3 as well. And they sure did. Later in the half, Craig Austrie missing. This team shooting 38% from behind the arc coming in. Well, they shot 4 of 14 from three-point land in the first half. Bob Knight, what adjustments should UConn make?
I would want to attack the zone rather than play on the periphery of the zone. I'd want to flash in the middle, look to get the ball inside, go to the bucket, get it back out. They're not making Notre Dame do anything that involves pressure whatsoever.
They were listening to the general second half. UConn attacking. Jeff Adrian, the lay-in. He had 12 points and a career-high 19 rebounds. And then it's Jerome Dyson in transition, going straight to the rack. UConn opening up a 5-point lead. The key matchup coming in, the big men, Hasheem Thabeet and Luke Herringody. Some bad blood between the two. Thabeet said in a college basketball preview issue of ESPN the magazine, quote, "Nobody's better than me, only more experience. I played Luke Herringody. He was not tough." Thabeet has since apologized for those comments. Second half, Herringody working on Thabeet, hits the fadeaway. At the other end, Herringody drawing the offensive foul on Thabeet. He was fired up. Notre Dame within 6, Herringody driving on Thabeet. Surprise reverse here. Herringody, 24 points, 15 rebounds. Meanwhile, Thabeet, 19, 11, and 5 blocks. Notre Dame within 4, but UConn simply too much. Dyson driving, finish with 15. They're up by 4, just over 3 minutes to go. It's Kemba Walker with the 3. This would ice the game up. UConn winning 69-61. Notre Dame's winning streak over. Aaron Andrews talking to Jeff Adrian afterwards.
Washington as a sports team, any team that's not terrible. Washington Huskies hosting UCLA. Drew and Justin Holiday with a parent in each section.
Sean and I actually picked teams, and he picked UW and I picked UCLA, and so I am just so excited. My husband and I feel blessed, grateful that our kids even have this opportunity.
They're meeting head-to-head, so mom sits on one side, dad on the other. Late first half, here's Drew Holiday, the steal. Darren Collison, the finish. He had 12, and the Bruins on the road are up by 4. Final seconds, first half, Drew covering Justin. Worlds colliding. Chases after the ball, and that leaves Justin open. Here's your chance, open look, knock it down. Huskies within only 1 against UCLA at the break. They're down 39-38. Early second half, Drew Holiday coming off the screen. Bruins by 1. Now it's Justin Holiday. Mom looking on, down low. John Brockman, and the foul. Dad, your thoughts? 18 for Brockman, there's Dad. Listen to some music, apparently. Isaiah Thomas for 3. He had 24. They're up 5. Justin Denton had 16. Washington has won 13 of 14. The Huskies sole possession of the Pac-10 lead for the first time since January of 05. They knock off the Bruins.
To the ACC, number 2, Duke facing Maryland. Now, during the pregame, an assistant coach standing in between the Cameron Crazies and Grievous Vasquez. Here's why. Earlier in the week, Vasquez said, "Cameron is my house. I love going in there. It's going to be fun." Here's the response from Duke students.
"This is our house." Grievous Vasquez thinks this is his house?
This is our house, and we're going to show them what Cameron Crazies are all about.
Where the kids camp out for 6 weeks and say that it's your house, it's not going to go down in Cameron like that.
Who is Grievous Vasquez?
Well, young man, he plays for Maryland, and boy, the Terps, they didn't really show up on Saturday. Duke's defense did. Kyle Singler the steal from Vasquez. Duke up by 12. The lead kept on growing. They're up by 23 here. Gerald Henderson stripping Vasquez. Former Duke star Jay Williams, some advice for Vasquez.
Here's a tip for you, Mr. Vasquez, that my mother taught me. Always be careful what you ask for. You asked to play in front of your second home today, you got a chance. And guess what? You shot 2 attempts from the field. 4 points, 1 assist, 4 turnovers, and your team lost by 41 points. That's what happens when you ask to play inside Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Jay wasn't pleased with those comments.
Oh, wow.
Vasquez.
A little upset. The Dookie blood is boiling.
He said the team didn't match the intensity. You think? Elliott Williams coming up with a sweet dunk. Duke wins 85-44. Worst loss for Maryland in 46 years.
Wherever Blake Griffin goes, that's his house. Oklahoma hosting Baylor, a team the Sooners hadn't lost to since 1978. First half, Blake he'd like the basketball. Asked for the lob at half court. I am going down the other end. Throw it up to me, please. Willie Warren does. Sooners shot a season-high 58%. Omar Leary inside to Griffin. Oh, it's his house, all right. They're up 12. He finished with 20 and 17. Under 40 seconds left in the half. Griffin in transition, but hold on. The franchise is down. Here's the replay. Griffin said afterward he rolled his left ankle while stepping on somebody's foot. It looked pretty bad there for a while. Turned out he was just fine. Ended up playing most of the second half anyway. They were up 27 at halftime. Second half, Blake's going to distribute the basketball to brother Taylor. Taylor Griffin had 18. Sooners have won 7 in a row. Oklahoma 19-1. They've won 29 in a row against Baylor. Saturday game got awfully chippy in Tucson, and here it is. Second half, Aubrey Coleman called for the charge on Chase Budinger. Budinger gonna go after him. Oh, why is he so upset? What's the big deal? Calm down. Well, hold on. Chase Budinger had a right to be hacked off. Coleman sees Budinger on the ground right there and just steps right in his face. He wasn't looking down at him, but it was foot on top of head there. Yeah, Lute Olson's upset over there. Coleman got a flagrant foul, and he would be ejected from the basketball game. Arizona down 9, 40 seconds left. There's the score. There's Budinger for 3. He had 15. They're within 6. 25 seconds left. Jordan Hill. Can Arizona really come back? Hill had 30 to lead his 3. Here's Kelvin Lewis after missing his first free throw. Misses the second, ruining his big night. He had a career-high 35. Nick Wise off balance at nearly the buzzer. Ties it at 88. Wise had 23. Last chance for Houston. Put back by Desmond. Wade is got a chance. It's short. They're going to go overtime. So Arizona has come back to force the OT. In the overtime, Jordan Hill. Arizona 96-90. They come back and win it to get to 12-8 on the year. They really needed that one. More from the Game Day gang now. Reese and Company in South Bend. Presidential brother-in-law Craig Robinson. His Oregon State team hadn't won consecutive Pac-10 road games since 03. They won at Cal earlier this week, so a game at Stanford, a chance to get off the schneid, as it were. And Calvin Haynes was buying in, fighting for the offensive rebound. Then a pretty crossover and step back there. Oregon State up 16-2 in Palo Alto. A terrific start for them, and Haynes making sure they didn't let it get away. They were up 6 at halftime. Second half, moving without the basketball. Haynes had a career-high 25, and guess what? Oregon State did it again. They win at Stanford 77-62. They snap a 6-game losing streak against the Cardinal and win back-to-back Pac-10 road games. Vanderbilt Gators looking for their 11th win in 12 games. Billy Donovan and company starting to figure it out. First half, Walter Hodge open for her. Walton. Gators are up 13. Chandler Parsons at 7 threes at a career-high 27. Irving Walker at a career-high 17. If it were me, I would defend the three-point field goal against these guys. Nick Calathis. Gators had 12 threes in the first half and 15 for the game. Parsons converts here in the second half of Florida, 94-69. That is that's one-sided. Gators now 17-3. Vandy has lost 3 in a row and 4 of 5. Schedule, please. Let's run through a typically brutal Big East day. 3 days after winning at Georgetown, West Virginia, back home to face Jamie Dixon. And number 4, Pittsburgh and Sam Young. But Pittsburgh up just 2 at halftime. DeJuan Blair had a big day. Gets it here for 2. Make it 3. He had 16 points and 11 boards. His 13th double-double. Second half we go. And here is Sam Young. It's a 6-point Panthers lead. Jermaine Dixon to Young. It's an 18-5 run suddenly, and they're up 12. Then Dixon, he had 11 points. Spots up for 3 at a deep 3. They're up 16. Young had 16 of his 22 in the second half, and Pittsburgh wins 79-67. The Panthers are now 18-1, but they've got Villanova and Notre Dame coming up next.
Louisville, Syracuse also playing out of the Big East and in front of 25,000 screaming Oranges. There's Rick Pitino. Nothing phases that guy. Second half, Orange down 40-38. Turnover, Paul Harris, Johnny Flynn. Johnny, what do you have for me? I got you tie game at 40. Later, Ville down 2. Edgar Sosa missing the three-pointer. Earl Clark rebound and 1. He'd missed the and 1, so we stay knotted at 42. 3 minutes left. Syracuse down by 2. Several chances to tie or take the lead, and finally Eric Devendorf hits the 3. Orange up 1. Devendorf had 20. Next play down. Preston Knowles missing the long jump. Clark gathers it in, and eventually in the possession we're going to get it back to Clark, and 25K go on mute with that 3. Jim Boeheim said it came down to that play. He had 16 and 13. Terrence Williams, clutch jumper there, and Louisville rolls on to their first ever win at the Carrier Dome, 67-57.
14th ranked Georgetown waxed at home by West Virginia Thursday, and things got even worse at Seton Hall Sunday. These guys are winless in the Big. This is how difficult the conference is.
How difficult is it?
Well, it's so difficult that even when you're up against a winless team in conference, they can still beat you as they honor the 89 Pirate team. Under 5 minutes to go, the freshman Greg Monroe. 3 of his 17 are up by 1. Next possession. Robert Mitchell, 2 of his 20 here. Now Seton Hall is back up by 1. Under 2 minutes left. Jeremy Hawzell draws the foul. He finished with 23. He did miss the free throw, though. One more look. Seton Hall also didn't hit a single 3 in this game. First time since 91 they didn't have a 3. That's a span of 504 games. Under 30 seconds left. Juwan Summers, Noonan in and out. Seton Hall makes only 1 of 2, so they go up 3. 15 seconds left. Jesse Sapp, not quite. Hoya shot 32%. That's a season low. And Bobby Gonzalez, boy, did he need this one. Here he is on why Seton Hall was winless in conference.
We played 5 ranked teams in a row. People don't understand how tough it is. They look at the record, they look at the scores. They don't know that you can play great basketball and get beat. We got it somewhere inside us. We just had to find it. Big confidence booster for us today.
Hoya's losing confidence. They've lost 3 in a row, and now they go to Cincinnati and Marquette.
Big 10 leader, Michigan State coming off a home loss to Northwestern and plenty angry. First half, though, Ohio State looking stout. Evan Turner inside, B.J. Mullins. There you go, that worked. But Darrell Summers, what do you got for Darrell Summers? Apparently nothing. Look at Green, fire. Thank you. He had 6 triples in this one. Show me another. All right, guy had a career high 26. You got one more? Summers. In the midst of our long, bleak winter. Second half, Michigan State leading by 5. Travis Walton. Good night, Travis. Michigan State up 57-50. Now, if Corey Lucius can hit Delvin Rowe,
you're home free.
You like a bird. Michigan State wins at 78-67. Good bounce back there. Now, Georgia Tech and Clemson, the Yellow Jackets, struggling in conference. Tigers dumped by UNC in their last outing. So Oliver Purnell getting the troops back on track. Trevor Booker driving the lane. Nice lead for Drake Grant in the slam. They're up 10. They'd increased the double-digit lead. Grant blocking. There, Son, take it back out. That's 1 on 3.
That was
Oglesby. And now, what'd I say? Well, 4 on 2, whatever you got numbers. Oglesby had a game high 18. The lead is 16. Oglesby driving. Leave it for, oh, the floor can be your friend. Raymond Sykes. Flush. Sykes! 73-59. The Rambling Wreck just that. 0-6 in ACC.
Minnesota at Indiana. Gophers hadn't won in Bloomington since 2004. Hoosiers, eventually they're going to win a Big Ten game. And Tom Crean trying to get everybody fired up with T-shirts. How about Verdell Jones at the buzzer of the first half? Indiana within 1 at the break, 31-30 from half court. But Minnesota has Ralph Sampson III, freshman, 6'11", 220. He's got dad's number 50. Off the feed from Al Nolan there. Sampson averaging 6 points, 4 boards a game, 18 minutes a night. Had a nice night here. 5-point Gopher lead, finished with 13 points. Indiana down 3. They cannot get the equalizer. Indiana has lost 9 straight and 5 in a row at home. That matches their worst losing streak in Assembly Hall history.
But if you get yourself to Gallagher Iba Arena in Stillwater, OU, OSU on the house. There you go. Look at that. Slippery when frozen, I guess.
Lady!
But here's what I don't know why you fertilize bricks.
Yeah, the grass is not going to grow there.
213th Bedlam Battle of Freebie, the game and the dislike dating back to 1908. Blake Griffin, Austin Johnson, teammates, and they're not afraid to share. Griffin double-teamed. Johnson apparently not teamed at all, so he'll make the 3. Then Griffin again draws a couple of white jerseys, and so there's John. And this time Johnson, yeah, instead of firing, takes it to the 10. Griffin not scoring, but contributing. That's all coaches want. Effort, contribute. Johnson from way out, much range. He had 22 points. Sooners up 7. 3 minutes to go in the half. Griffin in the post, spin move, and the foul. Thank you for the dunk. Griffin only 6 points in the first half, but he only took 4 shots. Contributed? Yeah, 10 rebounds. You saw the assist. 9-point lead for the Sooners at intermission. Second half, Johnson, long pass ahead to Griffin. He'll finish. Oklahoma up 12. But the Cowboys, they got the orange up. Here come the Pokes. Baron Eaton getting to Keaton Page, who hits the 3. Thank you. Cowboys down only 3. They actually got it down to 1. Never quite edged in front, though. The Soondog. Bring back top dog. Griffin in the post. Got it. Sooners up 6. Less than 5 to go. Griffin, who had 20 in the second half, finds Juan Patillo. Thank you for the flush. Griffin, 26 points, 19 rebounds, 3 assists. That's a full stat sheet. OU wins it 89-81.
Buzz Williams and 8th-ranked Marquette taking their 9-game winning streak into South Bend, where number 22 Notre Dame just had its 45-game home winning streak snapped by UConn on Saturday. Points in the paint, a big storyline here, and nearly all of them went to Marquette. Jarrell McNeil, and McNeil one more time. They had no answer for Jarrell McNeil. Wesley Matthews had 16 as well. Marquette outscored Notre Dame 36-20 in the paint, and the Irish perimeter game wasn't there either. Kyle McIlarney, ineffective. Digger Phelps, your thoughts.
Kyle McIlarney, the last 2 games for Notre Dame is 6 for 27. Why? Teams are really playing him tight. They're switching on screens. And when you look at how he tries to get his shot off, he's not getting enough shots. The fact is, he's got to be run off more screens and try to get open, get his flow. The Irish need his threes to win.
They didn't get him here. McIlarney only 9 points, 3 of 12 shooting. They do have Luke Herringody, and he's pretty good. Irish back within 3, trying to avoid their 4th straight loss. Luke would like everybody up, please. Herringody, 29-17. That tied it at 59, his 9th straight double-double. But McNeil had a season-high 27 on the road for Marquette. This put him up by 5. Dominic James scored 11 of his 15 in the second half. And Marquette goes into South Bend and wins the 71-64. Look out for the Golden Eagles. Start paying attention. They've won 10 in a row. Monday's win